Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Keeping Fish Simple. Today's vlog, we're going to be doing a few things. There's some exciting stuff that's happening right now. One of the big things today is going to be over on this other wall. You can see that we've got like a big blank wall behind me. There it is. I'm going to explain in a second what this is all about, but also our discus have started free swimming. I'm going to quickly flip around the camera and show you guys everything that's happening. So the first exciting thing is in this tank. Now in this tank we've got some stirbay cories with some Corydoras. So you can see the stirbays there. Some big adults. They hate my camera. The stirbays have been breeding. I think it's the stirbays. There's some eggs up here. I don't think these two can actually cross. There's some eggs there, some eggs there. You can see them all up on that back wall. So there's a bunch of eggs in here. So I don't know if these guys are still spawning, but we're gonna take these eggs out off the wall. They're going a bit crazy. So I did a big water change yesterday, and that's normally what triggers these guys. I gotta take these eggs out quick. The other thing too is if we come up the back of the room, our discus babies have started to free swim. You can see up the back there, we've got Clementine. She's covered in little discus fry. They are going up to the top corners, and I don't know whether they're just distracted, so I might have to paint this tank in the future, but they are still feeding, so there's no problems just yet, but we'll keep monitoring that and make sure that they don't start like having big losses of fry, because sometimes if you have dark objects in a tank, they get a little bit distracted. But the other thing up here is up the back, cleared out this area because we are going to be building some shelving. But the reason we're going to be building shelving is to store some bettas in a Betta system, because I need to put all my brood stock in there. A thing that's been happening is I've been having my bettas in like tanks with other fish, and it's taken me a bit to learn that bettas can really become prone to overfeeding, and it's actually a really big danger to a lot of bettas. So I've already lost 2 or 3 bettas from when I first started feeding frozen bloodworms. I lost my longfin koi male, which is terrible, and my blueberry koi male, and a random female, all to dropsy from the same time. And what I linked it to was feeding bloodworms to my cories. So I was feeding the bloodworms, and they were just pigging out on these. And I came back that afternoon, and they were just so bloated, full of bloodworms, and it was just terrible. I need to separate the bettas into their own containers just for the most success and the bettas to have the best life possible. We're going to be having a big shelving put in here, and we're also going to be putting all our like egg containers in that shelf. And that's what's happening in this vlog today. As you can see down here as well, I've also been breeding a few more bettas. In here we've got the Galaxy Koi, Red Dragons, and Black Samurais. Let's go take these Cory eggs out, because I'm really killing to do that right now. Just wrap that up, and you can see all the eggs in here. I only got about 40 at this time. I'm learning how to hatch all these cories and actually raise them up, and it's taken me quite a bit. These guys, when they're born, they're a little bit smaller, so these eggs are quite smaller compared to like Trilineatus or panda cories or anything like that. So basically they need to eat different foods. Now a subscriber reached out to me, Nigel, and he said to me that he feeds them first bites as their first food, and he has a lot more success than he does with baby brine shrimp. And also they weren't doing too good in my fry baskets that they were in before. So I'll show you the fry baskets that I'm talking about. So like these fry baskets, they weren't doing too good, and you can see there's some panda cories in these ones, but they weren't doing great in there. So they're gonna go in a breeder box, just like this one here, with a bit of Java moss I'm gonna add in there. We'll hatch them in here and feed them first bites as their first food. So I just wrapped that up, and you can see all these eggs on the bottom now. I'm gonna leave them in here. I'm gonna keep monitoring to make sure there's no snails in here, because the snails will just eat all those eggs. Yeah, they should hatch. I'll put a bit of Java moss in here as well, and they can start eating that infusoria. But when they do hatch, I'm gonna try and feed those first bites. I might actually bump the flow rate in this box up as well, just to make sure that they're getting enough water through them. So I think that's all I need to do. I'm gonna quickly show you guys as well the cories, because I need a bit of advice. I wanna see any of you guys who are cory experts can give me some advice and pointers on how you breed specific cories. So I'll go around and show you all my cories. I've got a lot of them. There's some that I'm having success with. I'll tell you about each one. I'll explain the struggles that I've had, and yeah, what the plans are, because once I've got all these bettas into their new tubs because of that wall rack, I should have way bigger yields, because the bettas have just been sitting inside of these fish tanks and literally just eating all the eggs if there have been any spawns. So that should help, and I'll also be able to clear up a couple of tanks to put some colonies of cories in. So we'll start over here. So over here are just my albino cories. These are just Aeneases. I've got like a decently sized colony of huge adults, and they spawn all the time. There'll be some eggs up the back here. I haven't had any trouble with these guys at all. You can see I've taken out the matin filters, because what was happening was, in here you'll see there's like the matin filter, and they were just spawning up the top there, and it was super hard to harvest those eggs. I want them to spawn on the side of the glass, and they've been doing that now. These aren't a high dollar fish by any means, but they're super fun to breed, and these guys make a lot of good content for my YouTube videos. In this tank we have my Similis cories. You can see these guys are all adults now. There's some definite males here, like you can see right there, and then some big females, which you can see over here, there's the female there. So there's like a colony of 8 of these guys. I've actually had a few spawns, but I'm not the best at spawning these. So if you guys have any ideas on how to spawn them, or if you're spawning these at home, drop it in the comments below. But apparently they like to spawn on those Java ferns, so I've added a ton of Java fern, and I've been looking through there, and they're not really spawning on it. I've had them spawn in that spawning mob up the back, and I've had a few other little just spawns underneath, like the Anubias leaves there and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure what to do, and there's been 2 fertilized eggs so far, so I've got those fry somewhere. Yeah, these guys have been a little bit of a challenge to breed. Not the hardest fish to breed, Corys, but yeah, it's just fighting those triggers, which I'm trying to get from this YouTube video. So these are my similars. In the tank across, I've got these longfin panda Corys, and they've been all right. They've been spawning every now and then, and I think that it comes after I do a big water change. So what I was doing was I would have like all of these guys in here. I don't know how many there are, maybe there's like a colony of 6. I've had quite a few fry be born in here and actually survive with the parents. But yeah, what I've been trying to do is lower the TDS and the pH with RO water very slowly, and then just try and like do a big water change with any kind of water, RO or tap water, and try and trigger them that way, and that's been working. I did have a Betta in here, and they were just eating all the eggs, so they've been all right. If you guys have any advice for your pandas, please drop them below. These guys have been a lot less prolific than my just normal pandas. These longfin pandas have been breeding not as frequently, so there's only one obvious female in here, so maybe that could be something to do with it. Over time, I've got a few of these guys growing out, so I might expand the colony into a couple more females. In here, these guys have been really prolific. These are my Triliniatus or Triliniatus Corys. I've got a decent sized school here, maybe 6 or 8 of them, and they spawn all the time in this spawning mop up the front of the tank. You can see there's just a massive amount of flow in here, and that's constantly like beating here, and they're laying their eggs inside of this. So they spawn almost every time after any kind of water change. They're not fussy on the water parameters at all. And the only challenge with these guys has been raising the eggs. So if you guys have any tips on raising the eggs for these guys, drop them below. I haven't tried my method with the net yet, but I will be giving that a go and seeing how it works. And then up here we have our flagtail pandas. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing with these guys as well. I haven't really given it an attempt at spawning, but if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. You can see that flagtail there, but they hide up the back of the aquarium quite a bit. I'm not entirely sure on what to do with them either. In here are my panda Corys. These guys are really prolific. They breed all the time. They breed inside this spawning mop. The only thing I could do to probably better my yields is to remove all these snails, because the snails do eat some of the eggs. But these guys are super prolific, easy to breed. I've been chucking the babies in the nets. They've been going really well. Yeah, they're a super fun fish. If you guys are beginner Cory keepers, these are probably the easiest right after the albinos to breed. You can see all the fry that I've got from these guys. Now here's something I do want some advice on. These are my black Venezuelan Corys. I've got a colony of at least 10 of these guys, males and females. You can see just how round some of these females are, but no breeding yet. I have no clue what the trigger's gonna be. I've played with RO water, I've played with tannins and stuff like that. Nothing seemed to work yet. So if you guys have any tips, I'd really appreciate it. These are a really cool Cory. You can see in the reflection what they look like. They hide quite a bit and they come out when there's feeding. Up in this tank, we have my Leucomelis Corys. Again, I have no idea how to spawn these. I haven't really given it that much of a go, but these are a really cool looking Cory, and any advice would be appreciated for these guys as well. I've got a colony of about 6 of these. Yeah, no signs of spawning, but they're really healthy and showing great color, as you can see, really deep patterns, and you can get a real good look at one right there. So they're definitely at breeding size, I'm pretty sure. We're probably not gonna see these guys, but these are my gold lasers. They're not at the age of spawning yet. Hopefully they start spawning soon. I'm not too sure what the trigger's gonna be for them. I saw Cory from Aquarium Co-op's video from years back where he was breeding them, so I might try and emulate what he was doing there with the cold water changes and see how they go. In here, I've got my skunk Corys and my bandit Corys, or my mete Corys, and they're just cohabitating for the moment. They're in here with this female koi Betta. Yeah, no, I haven't tried spawning them yet. They've still got a bit of growing to do before they start spawning. In here, I've got all of my Corydoras Eggs. I have tried to spawn these guys because they are a high dollar fish. The way I'm trying to do it is I'm trying to bring down the pH tons. I'm trying to make this really swampy. You can see I've got very low flow. I'm just trying to make the water as dirty as possible. No ammonia, of course, but just make it as dirty as possible, and try and trigger them that way by doing like a water change or something like that. But if anyone has any clue or has ever bred these, please let me know. These are apparently very difficult to breed, but they look really cool, and the fry look even cooler. I'll flash up a photo of a fry. I'd really like to breed these guys. The pH at the moment's, so you can see I scared them all. The pH is about a 6, and I think that with some live food, these guys might fatten up a little bit more. They've just been eating heaps of color bits at the moment and no spawning. And then finally are these ALL Corydoras. I know how to breed the Sturbays because you saw all the fry earlier on in the video and all the eggs, but the ALL Corydoras I have no clue. Apparently they spawn in these mops, but any advice is appreciated for them as well. They look really, really cool. So I've got a colony of about 5 of them, but so that's all my Corys. If you guys have any advice, I'd really, really appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna go record some more YouTube stuff for some informational videos, and I'll see you guys later. So it's now the next day, and in today's little part of the vlog, what's gonna happen is I've just been to the local fish store and picked this guy up. I don't know if he's gonna be easy to see. This guy, he is a wild cross with a normal Betta. He's an alien Betta. There you go, so you can have a better look at him now. And there's also some females over here. And the story behind him, the guy at the local fish store, he was planning on breeding them and he just doesn't have the time, so he gave them to me for free, which is absolutely amazing. And I really do appreciate it if you're watching this vlog. He's given them to me to breed, so we've just gone and picked these guys up now. I'm gonna fatten them up with some live blackworms and give them a couple of days before they are gonna have an attempt at spawning, but apparently the spawning is the same as the normal Bettas, which I've had a lot of success with. So hopefully we can breed these guys. If you guys have anything in the comments you want to mention about these, please put them in the comments because any advice is appreciated. In today's vlog, we're also gonna be moving some fish around because if you watched the last vlog, there's gonna be a link up in the top right-hand corner. Our friend Justin, who's taken our black rams, he's got a very small facility because he's been doing a lot of moving around. He's got thousands of German blue rams. He just doesn't have the space to grow them all up. So I told him that I'd be able to take all of his German ram fry so that he has enough room to hopefully grow out some of our black rams that we're attempting to breed. If you come down to here, we've got a tank just absolutely chocked full of these longfin koi Betta offspring. Now these are the spawn from my Betta series, which you can also see a link up in the top right hand corner, but these guys are just in a 2-foot tank. They're going to be getting moved out into a big 4-foot tank to finish out their growth, so they're about 1 centimeter now. You can see some of the different colors that are on these guys. Now when you're growing Bettas, I've mentioned it a lot in my previous videos, the Bettas grow at all different rates. From the same spawn, you can see these are like the 1 centimeter guys. We've also got over the other side of the fish room, these ones, which are almost ready for sale. So I'm gonna be selling these on my website down below. You can see some of the amazing colors that are coming through. These ones here that you can see, the ones that look kind of a bit bland, are actually gonna change, I hope, over time. Like you can see this really good looking one here. He's gonna actually turn into a koi, I'm pretty sure. I'm not like entirely sure, but I think that's what's gonna happen. We'll give them like maybe another month before they're gonna be on sale. So anyways, that's besides the point. We're gonna move these Bettas to a 4-foot tank to clear up a 2-foot tank. And then what we'll be able to do is hopefully move some of our angelfish into this 2-foot tank to grow out and just do some rearranging to make room for these fry because there's 2,000 of them. So when we go to Justin's fish room today, those guys are in high demand. A lot of you guys really do want them in Australia and I've been trying to breed them forever. So yeah, I guess let's move these Bettas. Well, I just did my first attempt to get as many as I could out, and you can see just the amount of Bettas that are in this container. I mean, I don't know how many there are. You can try and count if you want to. Yeah, these guys are going to be going in a 4-foot tank. Also in here are just some little baby bristlenose. These guys shouldn't hurt them too much or at all because they have been in here for a few days to grow up and start eating. So. Whoa, look at all those Bettas. You can see the size differences on some of these, so I'm not going to worry too much with these guys. I'm just going to let them grow. So if you come over here, you'll see that there's still just heaps of these guys in here, so I'm going to keep catching these. Well, I just wrapped that up and you can see in this tank, I've emptied it with the Bettas and I've put some Ultim angelfish babies in here. Now these aren't the Ultims, like the true Ultims, these are Peruvian Ultims. So there's like 70 of them in here. Here's what the parents look like if you wanted to see them. So you can see they resemble an Ultim. They're not as big as an Ultim. Here's my hand for comparison, so you can see they're not the true size. Anyway, so what I've done is I've cleared out some space. We're gonna go to Justin's now. Cleared out some space in 2 of these breeder boxes for these rams to go into. So let's go head over to Justin's now. So we just rocked up at Justin's and I brought him a little gift, which is this book. Now, he's been wanting it for a bit and he wants to keep buying it from me and I'm not gonna let him because I just can't let him. So I'm bringing him this book. If you guys are interested, this is on my website, keepingfishsimple.com, down below. This is probably one of the best fish keeping books I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not trying to like sell this to you. Honestly, whether you buy this or not doesn't make a difference to me, because I'm making all my videos based off of the information that I've got in this. This is the Bible. I have to give full credit to Peter from one of the fish room tours I did with him. That's going to be a link in the top right hand corner. He linked me to this book, and it's just incredible. So, well, it's now the next day, and you can see all of the German blue rams have settled in. I don't know how many there are in this container. Justin reckons there was close to 1,000, but I don't know if it's that many now. But you can see them all here, so they're settled in really well. They've had some brine shrimp already, and yeah, super active. These should grow pretty quick and be ready for sale pretty quick as well. You can see there's some bigger ones in here, there's some little ones, and there's just a mixed variety of sizes. So we've still got a spare breeder box. I thought we'd have 2 batches, but we only got 1, which is perfectly fine. But I'd like to be able to crank these out myself without having to raise up Justin's fry. So I'll keep trying to learn how to raise the rams a little bit better. So if you guys want to know anything on how to raise rams, there's going to be a link in the top right, and you can go watch Justin's video. He's making a video on raising up my black ram eggs, so that should be pretty fun. Today also we're going to have the builder come and build some shelves up the back walls. Yeah, that's going to be pretty fun. Okay, and so we've just finished this up, and you can see now just how good this back wall looks. Look at that. So now we've got heaps more storage for putting on jars and stuff with eggs. We're gonna be putting a heap of bettas up here so that we can keep them, like our brood stock, up here, and anything that we're gonna be selling on our website down below. The best thing about these shelves is that I can adjust them. So say I don't want this shelf to be here anymore, I can easily take this off and then push it down or whatever. And the other good thing is that it's got like this air right above it. So this is an air tube with the air like that goes to the baby brine shrimp and to all the aquariums and that. So now I can link up air if I want to add like air to any jar for hatching, and it can go right behind this gap because we've fastened this shelving to the roof, because this wall we just don't think is going to be sturdy enough to hold the weight of all the jars. So it's fastened to the roof, and yeah, I think it actually looks pretty clean. Like besides there being some plywood, I think it actually looks really, really good. And yeah, we've got 5 shelves, so we can put all of our food on here and all that stuff. Well, I just did a little bit of organizing, and it's not the best. So you can see the floor's a bit dirty. There's just stuff everywhere. I've got to give this place a real good clean out. Yeah, I reckon that's going to be it for this vlog. We've done a lot in today's vlog. You can see over here all these little German blue rams have just been absolutely thriving in here. And yeah, there's heaps of them. So hopefully we get a lot of them up and ready for sale. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.